YouTube, this is King of Feral Imps, and today I'm going to be profiling my Zing deck. Now, this is something I've been working on for a while, I honestly just been very slowly picking up the cards here and there. I guess shoutouts are in order. There are several people who have traded me or just straight up given me several things. Soldier TCG, Phil, the old guy who owns the old card shop, and J-X. So thanks guys for helping me with this deck, even though it's not even finished. I will address that though later on, but I'm just going to go ahead and start profiling this. And before I get any farther, I do want to remind you that I do have a Pokemon channel, and I just recently started a Let's Play on there. It's a Wonderlock, so it's pretty neat. If you want to check it out, I'll have a link to it in the description, and it's also going to be as a card, probably like right here. So go ahead and check that out whenever you get a chance. It's not going anywhere, it'll be right there. So anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and start this profile. So first for monsters is triple of our fish tuner, Chaiwen, and then triple of our turtle tuner, Jiaotu. Now, of course, these guys, I'll talk about them. They do different things, but basically, you know, Chaiwen is your level 1 light tuner. Obviously, all of the Zings have the effect that while they're in your possession and destroyed, you get to special summon another one from the deck. So very useful, you know, except itself. Different one of them have different restrictions on like the position of how you can summon them, but you know, not all of that is super important. You can go ahead and read that later on. Chaiwen does have the effect that while he's in the graveyard and another Zing you control is destroyed, you can special summon him from the graveyard, but you have to banish him when he leaves the field. And then Jiaotu has the effect that if you control no other monsters aside from Jiaotu, then you can discard 2 Zing cards to special summon 2 Zing monsters from the deck. So, I mean, Chaiwen is your basic like level 1 tuner, the one you like. He's just the basic one, and I guess the face of the deck. But Jiaotu is the really good one because first turn, go ahead, normal summon this, discard 2 other Zing cards. You get 2 other Zings from the deck, and you can go ahead and synchro on up from there since he is a tuner. So that just makes things just really, really easy. This is the pretty much the best card in the deck to open up with. So for other Zing monsters, because we play 3 of pretty much most of them, I'm playing 3 of Bishi. This one pretty much has the same stats as Jiaotu, and I guess lore-wise they're related or something. But Bishi is you know, your basic level 2 non-tuner worm monster of the deck. Again, has effects that it gets destroyed, it special summons another one. The main Zing monsters do also have the effect that you can actually synchro summon during your opponent's turn, and then they also give effects to monsters that they like the synchro monsters that they help summon. So if you use Bishi as synchro material for any monster, then that synchro monster has the ability that it's immune to traps. So that becomes very useful, and the Bishi is just really useful, you know, being able to summon it with Jiaotu and then summon your level 4 and go for an 8 right off of there. The next one is 3, Beyond. Forgetting all these guys' names. But Beyond, of course, is a level 3 non-tuner. Basically all the same things, and if you synchro summon something with this, then it can't be destroyed by battle. And then 3, Suwani. I'm really bad at not remembering these guys' names, but Suwani, again, he's sort of the level 4 beat stick. Non-tuner, same effects, quick synchro summon something when it's destroyed, but when you use it as synchro material, that synchro monster gains 500 more attack, so that's very useful. Again, going Jiaotu to Bishi to Suwani, that's a level 8, and then it's immune to traps and gets 500 extra attacks, so that becomes pretty useful. And then the last Zing monsters are just 1-ofs, 1 Pulao, and 1 Tauti. Now these guys are 1-ofs just because like in this, you know, this is a pretty standard build. So Pulao is a level 1 non-tuner, which can be useful, but you really kind of only need 1 because it's not super important. But he does, and like the rest of his ability isn't super great. I mean, when he's used as synchro material, that synchro monster gains immunity to spells, which can be useful, but really the only destructive thing in the game is Regeki, and even then, you know, if your synchro monster gets destroyed, then well, at least maybe you'll have some other Zings that get destroyed in that Regeki as well. And then Tauti is a level 5, so he's kind of bigger. He's the worst to draw, but so that's why he's at 1, but keeping him in the deck, you know, you can do different things with Zhao too, because if by chance you do need something immune to spells, or he also gives immunity to your opponent can't take control of whatever synchro monster, so at least it can't get big-eyed. So I mean, these guys, they still have decent effects, and they're at 1-ofs, because they're not the best to draw, but you know, having them in the deck to bring out through other means is still pretty useful. That's it for the Yang Zings. I am playing a pure Yang Zing currently. This is, you know, just mostly a fun-ish build, but of course you can use the Zephyr Yang Zings, and then of course, especially if you want to play the Metal Phos when they come out with this, then, well, yeah, you're going to have to do that. But that's it for the pure Yang Zings. I just really like playing the pure build, because it's, in my opinion, it's more fun, but it can still get some stuff done. And that's all for the monsters. Now for the spells. 3 Yang Zing Path. Now the Yang Zing Path is just amazing. It's pretty much a Pot of Avarice, but specifically for Yang Zings. So you take 3 Yang Zing monsters, put them back in the deck, and then you draw 2 cards. You can only use once per turn, but it's very helpful, again, because pretty much every Yang Zing monster floats. So just being able to put them back in the deck is great. And again, this is a Yang Zing card, so you can use it to pitch for Zhao Tu's effect to go ahead and summon, you know, from the deck. After that, I'm playing 3 Mystical Space Typhoons. Now, of course, Mystical Space Typhoon rather than Twin Twisters, because in this deck, there's not much that I want to discard. I mean, I'm already discarding with Zhao Tu's effect, and you know, normally it'll be this or even a monster. And I mean, at least with this, monsters that you go to the grave, you can put them back. But I would just rather have some really good destruction, because, you know, this helps disrupt pendulum scales if you go up against stuff like that, or, you know, even like lower tier, which is mostly what I play. Like, it's still very useful just to be able to get rid of just the problem cards that you run into. After that, I'm using 2 Pot of Duality. I'm not always going to special summon, because, like, again, these the Yang Zings are all floater monsters. Unless I open Zhao Tu and 2 cards to pitch for it, I'm gonna special summon first turn. But aside from that, like, Pot of Duality just is a good first turn thing. You know, set Bishi, activate Pot of Duality, dig a card deeper into your deck. You know, it's pretty good. After that, just 2 Dark Holes. Dark Hole is just very useful because you can get rid of your opponent's stuff and then trigger your own monster's effects to special summon stuff from the deck, say if you need to reset stuff, or it really doesn't hurt you, because then you can just kind of cycle through things even better. And again, you can always put back stuff with the path, with the Yang Zing Path. And I made a mess. But of course, you know, you don't even need to play Regeki, just 2 Dark Hole, because it's actually good in this and helps you a lot. Along with that is 2 Supply Squad. Supply Squad is just, you know, something to help you continue to draw, because stuff is going to get destroyed, so might as well plus off of that. And then after that, just the 1-ofs are Soul Charge to go ahead and bring back a bunch of stuff and make our big plays, and then a Mind Control, because of course we are playing tuners. Several different types of tuners from different, you know, in different levels, and again, you're able to adjust things pretty well. So a Mind Control is pretty good to be able to take your opponent's stuff and then sync on up with it. And that's it for spells. After that, for the traps, is 3 Yang Zing Creation. Now, Yang Zing Creation is just a really good trap card, continuous trap card. Once per turn, when a monster you control is destroyed by battle, or then you can go ahead and summon a Yang Zing monster from the deck. So this just really helps, continuing to help you with stuff cycling out. Like, you know, with this, between this and your Yang Zing effects, and then just other things, sometimes your field can even just get full of monsters, and then just your synchro options are really great from there. After that is 2 Well of Dragon Souls. Now, you know, like the Well of Dragon Souls versus Call of the Haunted is a different one, but currently I'm using Well of Dragon Souls because it brings it out in defense. So if by chance I need to bring out something, you know, to go a little on the defensive, you know, maybe bring out a Bishi to act as a bit of a wall, or another thing is, you know, if your opponent blind MSTs this, you can chain it, and then it will trigger your Yang Zing monster's effect, because their effects work if they're destroyed by a card effect, including yours, which makes it even better. Another reason I'm using this is if by chance, you know, I happen to be using some other synchro monster and I summoned it already, and it goes to the grave, then I activate this, bring that synchro monster back. If, say, it happens to be like a level 6 that I need, then I can go ahead and use this, normal summon a Zhao Tu, go into a level 8, and this does turn it into a worm monster, whatever you summon. So that's useful because some things in the extra deck may require a worm, and it helps with like just interesting stuff that you can do. After that, I'm trying out 2 copies of And the Band Played On. This is kind of Vanities, but like better in a way, or at least for a deck like this, right? So Neither player can special summon a monster with the same level or rank as one they currently control. Obviously, with all the Yang Zings, I play a bunch of different levels, and obviously because, you know, some levels are tuners, certain levels are tuners, certain levels are non-tuners. So oftentimes I'll have like 3 different levels, but then they'll all synchro into one thing. This just helps stopping my opponent, because, you know, several other types of decks, pretty much every deck that is not a synchro deck will have monsters of the same level or rank as ones they already control. So it's just something kind of interesting, something you can do. And then after that, just the one-ofs are a Skill Drain and a Solemn Warning. Solemn Warning, obviously, to get rid of stuff that you don't want, and then Skill Drain, because, you know, for the most part, all of the monsters' effects activate in grave, whether they're destroyed. The only thing is this does hurt Jiaotu, but by the time you use this, then, you know, like, you will have probably already gotten the Jiaotu effect off, or you don't need it. Aside from that, the other Yang Zing monsters, when they give effects to the synchro monsters that they're used to synchro summon, those are technically engrave, or I don't believe it gets around that. I'm not completely sure, but like skill drain's just useful. You could fit in a strike if you have a strike, so that can be pretty useful. But aside from that, that's just the trap lineup I'm using. Obviously, though, if you're going to be playing this at a higher competitive level, again, of course, the traps you're probably going to want to switch around. Maybe you want to play more of And the Band Played On. Maybe you want to ditch the Well of Dragon Souls and just max out on Solemn Strike. And then again, for the monsters, make the changes there. But this is my build, and that's all for the main deck. Now, as mentioned before, I don't have a full and complete extra deck at the moment, but for the most part, just play whatever synchro monsters you have, kind of especially these ones, and I'm going to talk about them because, you know, especially the Yang Zing specific ones. Let me talk about Bashia first. Now, Bashia isn't exactly super strong, but again, if you summon it with Jiaotu, it gets a plus 500 and is immune to traps. It also has the effect that upon summon, you can target a number of cards on the field equal to the number of different attribute worm-type monsters used to summon it, and then just spin them. So that's just very useful. And then it also has kind of a Scrap Dragon effect, but, never mind, not really a Scrap Dragon effect, but the effect is, once per turn you can target you can destroy one of your monsters, and then special summon another monster from the graveyard, a level 4 or lower monster from the graveyard. So this helps you, like, swap out with Yang Zings, and they just gain more advantages. Let me mention the Herald of Arclight. That's something you can use in combination with it. So Herald of Arclight, again, it's a small level 4 monster, and then you can go ahead and attribute it to negate. So you can summon this because we do play the low level Yang Zing monster. So you can go ahead and bring this out. Say if you summon it with a Chaiwin and a Beyond, then it's immune to battle, or, you know, whatever you summon with, it's immune to that, and then you can go ahead and attribute it, negate what you want, and then Bashia, you can destroy one of your Yang Zings, and then bring this back, and then it just works from there. Then next is Yazi, the Evil of the Yang Zing. Again, this is one of the, you know, the Yang Zing exclusive monsters. It does have the effect that it cannot be targeted by your opponent's card effects. And then it also has the effect that, this one is the one with the Scrap Dragon-like effect. You can target one Yang Zing monster you control, and then one card your opponent controls, destroy them both. So that helps with triggering some Yang Zing effects. And then he also has the effect that when he himself is destroyed, you get to special summon a worm monster from the deck. So he's kind of like a Yang Zing in that way. And then last is Chaofeng. Chaofeng's a level 9, which, I mean, you could play, or if you have the Trishula, unlike me, then you can go ahead and use that instead. But he's got a pretty decent effect that, well, you know, while he's on the field, the attributes of any worm-type monsters used to synchro summon him, the effects of those monsters are negated. So, you know, you summon, let me grab some Yang Zings. You summon him with Pulao, well, wind monsters can't use their effects. Summon with Taudi, no dark monsters, no fire, no earth, no, I already used the dark, no light, basically that's it. So, it's just really useful for stopping effects. And then he also has the effect that when he's destroyed, you can go ahead and add a tuner monster from your deck to your hand. So that's kind of useful. But again, these are just the Yang Zing specific stuff in the archetype, and then something you can use with it. Again, use whatever you have. That's what I have right now. Use whatever you have, and then, yeah, pretty much just use, like, any synchro monster that says Yang Zing on it, you can use, and then any other generic synchro monster. Say, like, stuff I don't have, the Crystal Wing Dragon, Trishula, obviously, Armades, several other things. Just grab any synchro monsters you can get and play them, but just make sure you have at least 2 Bashia, probably. And I guess that's all I can say for synchros. Anyway, that's been it for my Zing deck profile. Obviously, I'm not the best with this deck, so, go ahead and check out any other builds if you're looking to build this deck yourself. But I hope I gave you a decent explanation of the deck to maybe, just begin understanding it, or at least to check out a casual, pure build. Obviously, this deck isn't super competitive, but it can easily be switched into a super competitive gear. Of course, just picking up the Solemn Strikes, pretty much. And if you want to try them out with Metal Foes when those come out, and, well, it gets pretty crazy from there. But anyway, I just want to remind you again, just check out any other channels that I happen to mention at the very beginning. Stick around because I have some other real-life deck profiles that I'd like to get out. Let me know what you want to see next. Do you want to see my terrible, crazy token deck? Or do you want to see my real-life version updated of Ritual Beast? Which is, again, a deck I absolutely love. And that one, I have every single card I need. So, don't even worry. Anyway, if you enjoyed the content, remember to subscribe. Also leave a like and a comment to show your support. This has been King of Feral Imps. Have a nice day.